Students of nutrition, this is a screen capture video to help teach you how to navigate the Nutrition Research Group project. So I have the project open on the left side and I have our work area open on the right side. We will be creating a project with one or two other people looking at research in order to meet our student learning outcome. One of the things that you're going to have to do is create a Gmail account if you don't already have one. So let me just show you really quickly how to do that. If you don't have one, and I know many of you do, you'll just go to gmail.com and create account, and it will walk you through those steps, and then you will have a Gmail account. Please remember your password. You will want to be able to sign into that account. Okay, so I'm already in my Gmail account. Once you have that account and you log in, it'll take you to your mail page. If you go over to this icon up here, this Google Apps icon, and click on it, you can go to your Drive. And then once you're in your Drive, you can select New. And the beauty of this, actually, if you don't already have this, then I'm going to highly recommend that you should, because if you're ever working on an assignment anywhere online, you could always just upload it to your Drive and then you'd always have access to it. So any of you not storing important school papers or other documents electronically, and you're hoping that they don't ever crash off your computer, I'm going to recommend that you this as an option. I use OneDrive, but this also Google Drive will work. Okay, we're going to start with creating a Google slideshow, because that's what you'll be creating for this particular project. And you'll start off by picking a template for your project, whichever one looks interesting to you. And someone will have to get this all started. And then once you get your project started, you're going to want to make sure that the people in your group can access it. So go ahead and title it, whatever you're going to title it. You can put your initials or however you want to designate the title, and you'll save. And then you're going to share it with the people in your group using their Gmail account, and you do want to allow them to edit. Okay, so that each person has the opportunity to add their own slides and you can work collaboratively. And then you will send this to each person in your group, and now you're able to work on it. All right, done with that. I'm going to close that and go to the one that I've already created as a sample. And so what I have done is I've looked up the criteria for the assignment. You will have to find a research article, and it needs to meet the following criteria. So it'll be recent, published within the last 5 years. You'll need to find a full text article. It needs to be from a scientific peer-reviewed web journal, and I'm going to show you how to use PubMed. And of course it'll be nutrition related, covering the same topic, and you will either be assigned into topics or be able to pick your topic. So we'll try to work out that you're able to pick a topic of interest to you, but if that doesn't work, I will assign your group a topic, and it'll be from one of these particular categories, and then others with approval. So let me just quickly go to PubMed.gov. That's the quick link. It'll redirect you to the full URL. And then it's pretty easy to use. This is a website from the U.S. National Library of Medicine and the National Institute of Health, and it has more than 26 million citations for biomedical literature, including life science journals. And then it also has online books, but we're going to be using journals. So say your topic is, let's see if we can find fad diets. Fad diets, all right, so usually when you type it in, it'll come up with hopefully the topic, and it might come up with a variety of topics. Maybe you are specifically looking at weight loss. Then you can go ahead and search. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use some of the limitations over here. You're going to want to collect or select free full text. You don't want to have to pay for anything. And then you want to select in the last 5 years. And I will warn you that almost always when you collect free full text, it really is free, but not always. So keep that in mind. Now, in this case, we've made the list so specific that there are only 2 articles, and since each person in your group needs to use a different article, you might find that you want to get rid of these limitations and you expand your research, and now we found 21 articles. Okay, so let's pick one. I actually liked the intermittent fasting one, so you would go ahead and select it, and then this doesn't look promising. There's no abstract written, so let's see what we have here. We'll go to the free full text. Most of the time you'll have an abstract here, which is a summary of the article. But let's see if we can access a full article. This looks like it might not be a research article. It's not, but there are no references here. So this is probably a letter to the editor or just an informational page that someone wrote. So you say, strike that. That didn't work. So you go back and you look for something that will. This might be interesting. Fitness on Facebook. You'll have to look and see if that talks about fad diets. This one certainly talks about fad diets and urinary stone formation. So let's pick that one. This is what you would expect if it's going to be a research article. So this is looking at an abstract. You might read through this and say, yeah, sounds interesting. No, sounds boring. Say you like it, go over here, pick the free full text, and now you'll have your full article that will be an allowable resource for you to use, and you'll read all about it and then create a slide on it, and you can tell it's a research article. Look at all the research that they've reviewed in their looking at this. So, okay, that's how to use PubMed, and I do require that you use that. So, going back to the slideshow, you've picked your topic, or it's been picked for you, and you're going to start off by finding your research article, and then we'll get to the information on the website. That'll come a little bit later. Slide 1 is going to be a topic introductory slide, so it's going to tell me what your topic is. You're going to answer a couple questions. What is your topic and why did you pick it? And what was the most interesting thing that you learned? And you will notice on this particular slide that there's one slide, and each student will participate on the slide, and you'll put your initials next to your input. So I can see right here who has done what work. And of course you can use a smaller font if you need. And then I also ask you to find a graphic that represents what your topic is. Slides 2, 3, and then 4 or more, depending on how many students are in your group, are going to be individually created. So each person will create a slide on their research article, and this could be the title of your research article. And then next to it you'll put your initials so I know who created this slide, and then you'll answer these specific questions: purpose, study design, conclusions, and a strength and a weakness. All of that comes from reading this particular article that you selected. Okay, you'll find that information in here, or you'll assess that information in here. Then there will be the same slide for the next student, and if there are more students, then the next student. So that takes care of category 2. Number 3 is compare and contrast. So on this slide, you will need to look at the information in one of your other group mates in their research article. They're just the 2 of you, that's easy. And you're going to compare your research to their research. And then you'll also compare it to the book. And then I ask you to find some information on a website. To be honest, in the case where this can be a commercial-based website, they tend to be more interesting. This particular topic not a lot of commercials promoting that you do things to give you a foodborne illness, but you will find a website and you will compare to another student what you've learned in the book or maybe in a different class, and what you learned at the website, and then you'll assess, kind of comparing the website to the actual research article. Okay, so that will be an individual slide per person. And then we'll get towards the end, that's your practical application slide, and that should be one slide, but if you don't have enough room and you need to spill into a second slide, I will allow that. but each person should be commenting on this, and you'll make your comments followed by your initials so that I know who completed what. And you'll have an image again, and then your last slide of your slideshow will be your references. Let me know which person is referencing which, and then we'll look at that way. And so you'll see that each category has a certain number of points. Just so you know, if DR did their research article slide, but HJ did not, DR would still get full credit for having done their part, okay? Where that gets a little tricky is if there's only one person participating, how are you going to compare? And so then you might lose a few points here, or you might have to come up with a way for you to, maybe you find another article and you compare on your own. But hopefully you can earn all the points. Just so you know, there is some accountability, and the reason I have you using Google Slides is I can do a revision history, and you will see that the revision history shows me, here's HO, was working on the slideshow on May 31st at around 8 o'clock p.m. She actually started this slideshow, and here's a slide that she created at that time, and then she built onto it, so I can kind of see what she did. And then DR was working on it today, and this is, I can click on these and see what DR created. Okay, so there is accountability. I have a way of tracking who has done what or not done what. And so I know group projects can be stressful, but we're really encouraged in online learning to have students working on group projects. And so I have adopted one so that you can, learn from each other, share information with each other, and do some collaboration and get just a different point of view. But I do try to make sure that you're not graded unfairly if someone's not doing any of the work. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Hopefully this walked you through both the finding of the research article and the how to create the slideshow. The last thing you're going to need to do when you have the whole thing finished and it's time to submit, you're going to go to the Share tab again, and you're going to go to Get Shareable Link. I don't usually do it this way. And it says anyone with the link can view, and you would copy and paste this particular link into the Dropbox. This is what you're going to submit. You're going to submit the link to your article, and then I'm going to click on the link, and it's going to show up in my Google Drive. Okay? If you have any concerns, you can always add me to your share list, and I have given you my Gmail address just in case. And another thing you are able to do from here, I believe, is, I might be wrong, download as. You can download it as either a PDF or a PowerPoint presentation. Actually, a PDF would be better if you're going to download it so it doesn't launch PowerPoint every time. If you want to download it as a PDF, you can do that. Save it on your desktop, and then you can attach that that particular item. You can attach it to your assignment as well. So then that's 2 ways of giving it to me. So feel free to do that also if you like, and I'll try to remember to include that on the directions that I have written up over here for you. Okay, really long, hopefully helpful. People always like to see an example, so hopefully that did it for you.